Hey everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Beautiful day here in South Alabama, albeit very, very cold. I think we're going to start warming up here in the next few days, and I'm going to get out of town for the weekend, go down to Pensacola and stay at my little Airbnb on Saturday night. Looking forward to that. Going to meet a new vegan friend down there and just get out of the house a little bit. I get a little bit stir crazy here in Alabama in this particular little town. Not too much to do here. Anyhow, I wanted to continue this new year with a shortcut to a raw food diet, just some practical tips. I do videos every day, so if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button now and come back and watch some more. I got some good playlists in there for you. And then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. Yeah, this is just going to be another one today. I just like to throw out some practical stuff, there's enough stuff out there on do this recipe and eat this, and this, and on the very technical and deep, serious stuff and step by step that I just like to deal with the process, the psychology of it, different areas that really can that I find motivate me to succeed on things more so than the actual details of a step-by-step plan. For many years, I wasn't a total mess, even though I was a drunk for 30 years. I had a little bit of smarts about me. And, after about the age of, 30 or 35, because before that, I know I knew everything when I was younger. But I got to a certain point where when I found somebody that did something and they did it very well, or they were succeeding at it, and either they were teaching me or I was learning it on my own and I just knew this person, I emulated that person. I looked to somebody, if not to copy exactly their moves, I would adapt it, to my individual needs, but I looked towards people that were getting what I wanted to get, and I did what they did. Or, like I say, or I adapted it to my circumstances, my situation, but I didn't try to reinvent the wheel. When somebody would teach me something, I tell you what, golf and tennis is a good example of that. When you take a golf lesson or you take a tennis lesson, and if you're not already a really good player and you don't have the fundamentals, even little things like your coach or your teacher's going to tell you, like grips on the golf club or grips on the tennis racket, in the beginning, it's going to feel awkward, and your inclination is just, well, no, I can figure that I've got a better way to do it, and you end up, your game doesn't progress. Whereas if you learn how to do it the way somebody else is doing it, that's good at it the proper way, boom, it just moves along. Maybe that's a good analogy, maybe it's not. I got my just random notes down here, and I had down there, observe, learn, experiment, and follow. Which means observe people, observe the kind of people, and we'll get to that. I'll tell you what kind of people I'm talking about. I would recommend you observe as you're observing the people. When you're observing things that start to make sense to you, go to Google. Use this great thing called Google. Use YouTube. When you see somebody that you're like, okay, this person, I like this. Go verify it, go search it, go read some other stuff about it. Then experiment with it. Try it on you and be real with yourself. How does it feel on you? How does it work for you? That's what it's been for me this whole time. I'm not sitting around here all the time telling you, oh yes, so and so. There's so many people out there that are quoting everybody else. Well, so and so says do this on the raw food diet. I don't care what so and so says do on the raw food diet. I've experimented, I've tried a lot of different things, and I'm in tune with my body, so I tend to put what works for me above the so-called authorities out there. And then when you've done all this stuff, just follow somebody. For instance, when you're looking for people, and also I'm going to say this too, and I don't want to discourage anybody from watching me or listening to me, because I think we can definitely, you don't have to have my exact circumstances to learn something, but I had this little saying down here, don't try to fit a square peg in a round hole. And what I'm saying there is, for instance, you might not relate to me if you don't eat bananas. I have that all the time. It's like, if you don't eat bananas and you're not in a tropical area, or if you're not somewhere where you're getting a bunch of tropical fruit, I'm not knocking that. Let me just make that very clear. I'm not being a snob. I'm not doing whatever, but it's apples and oranges. Actually, it's not, because apples aren't a tropical fruit. I'm just being silly there, but um, it's true. People write to me and they're like, they ask me some really deep, detailed questions, and well, I don't eat bananas, or I don't like bananas. And they're like up in the Midwest somewhere, and they're eating apples and grapes, and they get other things. They don't get any tropical fruit, and they don't eat bananas. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not saying it can't be done and you can't thrive. But square peg, round hole. That's not me. Why are you asking the guy that, you know, has mostly done this lifestyle in the tropics, who has lived with abundant tropical fruit, who, you know, basically the base, the bulk of my calories is bananas. You know, why would you come to me for that? It's kind of like, you know, you go to a lawyer and you're trying to sue a big corporation. You don't go to a criminal lawyer. They're both lawyers. It's not saying that one lawyer is better than another, but if you're suing somebody, you go to a civil lawyer. You don't go to a criminal lawyer. Kind of the same kind of analogy there. What I would say, some of the key things to look for, and like this is where I talked about, these are shortcuts, hacks, practical tips, is okay, find somebody that has a similar location, similar circumstance. The location is very important. They're all important. I won't even try to like weigh them like, well, this one's more important than the other, but look for somebody with similar location, similar circumstances, similar health issues, if you have any health issues, and then just simply look at people as you're watching YouTube channels, as you're reading, as you're following people on Instagram, other social media platforms. Find people like that they're getting the type of results that are putting something out there that you want to get, that kind of call out to you. You know, you can don't you kind of resonate with that when you see a person? I do. When I see a person, you know, I'm not saying it's always immediate, like I form a snap decision, but very soon after encountering a person, I'm usually I can find if I'm like, yeah, I like what I want, not so much I like what they're saying, it's just like, I like what I see here. I would like to get similar results to that. I like their demeanor. I like their balance. I like everything about them. So look for those things. I've talked about that before. And I don't ever want to like come across as dismissive or whatever. Very, very important. That might be the most important. I will put a little bit of weight on it. Similar health issues. If you have health issues, you really need to be looking to people that have the same health issues and that have had results. Not just have the same health issues, but have had good results in reversing, putting them into remission, curing, or getting rid of the health issue that you have. You know, I have people asking me about things that are so, you know, autoimmune disorders, Lyme disease, what else? Crohn's, ulcerative colitis. That's a different story. You know, sometimes I don't ever like to sound like I'm talking black and white. A lot of the stuff I'm talking about is for, and I can be opinionated sometimes, but I'm talking about for pretty much reasonably healthy people, as myself. When you get into certain things like autoimmune disorders, Lyme, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, I don't understand all of the protocols and what you do need to do, but I know it's not as simple as just, oh, come on, dude, just eat fruits and vegetables. That'll take care of everything. There's certain issues that it won't. And you're just going to benefit yourself, and you're going to get to where you want to be in a shorter amount of time by following somebody that's got some experience with this. So yeah, those are just some little simple things. Listen, you can hack this thing down. Stop geeking out on this lifestyle. Everybody, I see questions all over line all day that it's just like, you know, it's like somebody that's in there that is just in a first introduction to algebra class, and they're trying to get into, they're asking you questions that are in calculus. You know, don't get too detailed with this stuff. And if you want to get the detail, if you want to get the geeky stuff, if you want to be Mr. Science and be able to tell everybody every little ingredient in this and every compound and what this does and that, get that later, but get the basics down first. You need to learn the ABCs before you read and write. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I like to hit this, like I say, I like the practical approach. I like little tips. Like little just chipping away, getting there. And, you know, anyhow, your mileage might vary on that. What do I know? I'm a senile. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.